right, good afternoon, inplayLIVE Nation. Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. Happy Remembrance Day.
And Veterans Day.
And Veterans Day to those who are, lost, past, and present. We're here to talk today with a couple of our core members from the inplayLIVE community. We've got Zach, Brandon, and Jason, and we're pumped to just chat with them. Obviously, we chat with them multiple times a week, but give the rest of the community and anyone else who's watching or thinking about joining some insiders' perspectives, some stories, and just meet some of the crew, right? I think that we've talked about this time and time again, but one of the core values of being part of inplayLIVE is joining a crew or a community of people who love sports betting, and love making money off of sports betting. So cool for anyone to see kind of a live testimonial to that. We'll talk to them a little bit about why they joined, what they like to do, that sort of stuff, and then get into the week ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, I think from my perspective, when we started inplayLIVE, I could have never fathomed the success that we have. Not everyone's successful. It would be naive to say that, but the three guys that we have on today are three of our greatest success stories, and I'm super pumped to have them here. So let's bring them in. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Hey. Good afternoon, I guess. You guys are all East Coast. We're on the West, but you're halfway through your day already.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's just dive right in. Let's ask a couple quick questions, kind of some background stuff. I'll start with you, Zach. Give us a 30-second pitch on yourself and how you got into sports betting, and maybe a couple of things that you like to do before you joined inplayLIVE for what you were working on.
Yeah, so pretty much I've been gambling for a long time. I'll just put it that way. Going to the racetrack with your old man when you're like 13, 14 years old, stuff like that.
I don't know if everyone shares that story, but
yeah, exactly. Right. So it's been a long time coming for me, and then obviously I wouldn't consider myself a pro, but I mean, like even before I joined inplayLIVE, I was betting on the side to make a side income and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Jason?
Pretty much betting on all my life. I will say my dad used to actually bet a lot at the track when I was younger. So, 6-7 years old, trying to pick the winning horse, and extra $5 for comic books every week, which was great. I love sports, and you know what? I've always thought there would be a possibility to look at this as a full-time thing and be able to make enough money to support myself, support my family, and enjoy the little things in life. And I think I've started to finally find it.
Awesome. How about you, Brandon?
So for me, as for myself, I'm just your normal blue-collar guy. I work as a longshoreman basically 19 days out of 21 during the summertime. So before all of this, I was sort of looking for an opportunity to work from home, something online, and I was super happy that I found it. So when it comes to sports betting, I wasn't like most of the community. I would bet on certain sports, but I wasn't doing like your pregame bets. I would do predictions where you would bet on all 15 teams. I would never get it right. But I mean, until I found this community, it's basically my first time that I've been doing betting. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. What about what's the biggest draw like for someone like you, Zach, who was doing betting for a long time? You obviously developed a system that you were having some success in. Like, what drew you into inplayLIVE or made you decide to join and stay for that matter?
Yeah. No, and like we talked a little bit about this last week when the ad popped up on Facebook, and like I said, I probably skipped over it 3 or 4 times before I said, you know what, let's look at the video and see what it's about. And to be honest, it just really resonated with me. Someone that comes in with a sports background. Like, I played sports my whole life, and it's something that I like to do on a daily, whether it's betting on it or fantasy teams and stuff like that, right? So yeah.
Cool. How about you, Jason?
Pretty much, I've bet a lot on parlays, things like that beforehand, and some success, minor, but always looking for that sort of big score. Not getting it, the 8, 10, 12 run legs, things like that. But I was looking for something that would actually show me a different way of doing things and looking at a different way of betting. And being able to capitalize on that, and I think I have. And that was the one thing I really wanted to get out of the program, was being able to see a new way of doing things and seeing if there was an opportunity there, which so far there has been.
Right. That's a cool point, because I mean, I think that's the whole thing with inplayLIVE. It's a change of religion when it comes to the standard of sports betting and what people look to do. You know, the pregame pickers, the heavy favorite guys, the the parlay guys. This is a totally different avenue that I would say the minority of people are exploring and finding value in.
Right, and I think too, to Jason, to your point, like Zach is pretty clear. He was a sports bettor prior, and he straight up said he did it for side income. Right? Very few people say those words. I sports bet for side income. That's very rare to find someone that actually makes money. So, Jason, when you were stringing together these parlays and your betting experience in the past, you, correct me if I'm wrong, you struggled.
I struggled at times, yes. I mean, I was looking for the big score. Instead of picking 3 out of 3, I was going for 8 out of 8
right.
and 12 out of 12, because I wanted that big one shot. I want them, be able to, buy a new Lamborghini next week. But, I mean, when I did 3 out of 3 and 2 out of 2 and things like that, kept my nose pretty much clean in regards to that. I was semi-successful with that.
Right.
But you're looking at a lot of pregame favorites, a lot of, you know that this team is going to win, and your odds are next to nothing at that point. So you're having to grind away on all these pregames. And I mean, you look at it like in a league like the NHL, you might ever only have 15 games at one time. So you'd have to grind out a lot in one night just in order to be able to make some money. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. How about you, Brandon? I know you're kind of a bit of a different story from these guys in the sense that, you were looking for something online and kind of an actual way of generating income that might not necessarily have been sports. What was your draw?
Well, that's the thing. So the key word was actually sports. So I mean, since I've been young, I've been playing sports forever. I mean, I played baseball, I played football, I played soccer, played everything. So I mean, back when I was younger, I always wanted to be like a sports agent, let's say. So
Jerry Maguire.
Pardon me?
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when I saw the Andrews ad, I was already into. So basically, I was already investing money into stocks. So when I saw Andrew's ad, I figured, okay, it's similar, So me, through my experience already through the online world, I understood that it's not necessarily, it's worth the risk. So it was worth the risk for me. So I decided to join up, and it's changed my life ever since. So I mean, ever since I joined up, I think it was August 19th. I'm considering. So I put my full effort in it. I've been moving. I got my TVs. I have 3 up on the wall now, but I'm renovating, so
yeah.
They're not all up just yet. So I decided, to go full in.
It's a solid setup.
Here we are now.
Zach, what's your setup like? Because we can't see yours.
Yeah, well, I'm in my car right now because I'm headed to hockey myself. But,
yeah.
I have 4 TVs. I've got a desktop computer, 2 laptops, and 3 tablets.
Yeah.
So
I think that's one of the best things is seeing all these guys set up. So,
I know.
And even when Kenny came on, he had it was like he was in the Minority Report. He had like a globe of screens around him. Like
his looked the closest to like the new Circa Vegas sports book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, the dream. That's a ton of fun to see, though.
I'll have to show you my satellite I built outside.
You need a mobile.
Yes,
you need a mobile version next, right? The one you can go around with.
Yeah.
So really quickly, guys, maybe list off. Hey,
success.
Yeah, let's hear just like a 1-minute version of from your inception of inplayLIVE to now, like key highlights of what your successes have been.
You can throw struggles in too, for sure.
Yeah, so I'll just make it easy. So my Casumo account has been open January 1st, 2020. Obviously, there's a small little shutdown with the NHL, the NBA, and stuff like that. But so basically for 9 months, 10 months, let's say, I've made $72,000 on Casumo. this is without inplayLIVE, okay? Which is really good. That's a great income, stuff like that. But when I came into inplayLIVE, I've been in here now almost 4 months, I believe, and I've made $65,000 in those 4 months. So
Wicked.
to compare, to compare the two, Casumo, most of it is pregame stuff, right? So, I mean, just the numbers don't lie. The system works. So,
Cool.
Awesome, man.
Good story. Jason, how about you, man?
Pretty much I'll go with my standard, 0 to 30 days, $250 to 16,000.
Liar.
Been,
Scammer.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that on the Facebook.
Liar.
I do have my sportsvalueanalyst.com site up, so it does have my whole story there. I would say, we've had some great days. I mean, going from, I think the biggest one was, one where I went from 3,000 to 6,000 in a day, and the wife was just like, wow, what the heck just happened? I'm like, yeah, here you go. When I took,
You didn't give it all to her, did you? You didn't get half.
No. She's got her own side income. And then, I mean, when I took it a couple days later from 6,000 to 12,000, she was like, okay, this is real. Do whatever you need to do. I will let you have your space. And there was never been any argument since. So
yeah, and I think for your story too, like 250 to 16,000 and get trolled on that, like that's totally attainable, right? Like that's not out of.
Well, the thing,
it's not outrageous at all, right?
This is the thing about sports betting. If Jason placed a $250 wager with the ticket slip at Aria or MGM Grand or wherever, and you saw 250 pay 16,000, saw the teams that won all at minus 110, everyone would be like, "Holy shit, that's crazy!" But people are like, "You turned $250 into 16,000. That's not possible." But the thing is that we're not lying. We're not creating a scam. We're not doing anything of that nature whatsoever. But what we are doing is we do have a system so that $250. Jason, how long did it take you to turn it into $1,000?
God, I think it was it was about a week, I think.
But so your unit size started at $5.
Yeah.
And then by the time so $5 wagers, you're maybe profiting an average per wager. We're hitting usually at a clip of about 4.0 at about 35 to 40%. That's typically what the numbers work out to be. So every time you're placing a wager, you're getting implied odds of 2.5, but you're usually getting about 4.0 in actual reality of what we're placing, like on average. That tends to be the way the data kind of shakes out. So in your case, that $5 unit becomes $10 really quickly, and the $10 then becomes $20, and then $100, and so on and so forth. Right, so that's how.
And we had good days and bad days. That's the thing too. So I mean, you would go up one day 600, the next day you'd go down 1,000. It all depended, and you would adjust your, bet size according to that, and looking at it, and going, okay, I got to stick with this formula in order to make sure that I don't do something stupid and start betting way past what I should be betting at that point.
Right.
Yeah. No, good point.
Anything you wanted to add there at all, Jason, or?
Nope.
That covers it. Awesome.
Brandon, fire away.
Yeah. So just to show everybody that you don't. I've had exactly the same success as Jason. Me and Jason, I think we joined the program around the same time, so we've been going through the course a lot together. We probably had the similar results. As to show, so I came in without even having much knowledge when it came to sports betting. So just to show you that it's basically the program itself that Andrew teaches you, that really it's just proof that that's literally, it's the mindset that all of us have, that we've gotten to understand, that makes us profitable over time. So for my results, so I started on August 19th. It was like near the end of the hockey playoffs. So from August 19th to September 19th, which was 2 weeks of the NFL season, what I had made over in that account was $16K, similar to Jason. And then from now on, what I'm doing is I'm doing $10K a month. So I've made around $40K since I've started.
Awesome, man. That's really cool to hear.
So you still going to be a longshoreman, Brandon?
So we'll see. We'll see. It's in the works. I've always wanted. You already know how much pleasure I have doing this with you guys. You already know how much love I have. I'm definitely all in.
Right.
Definitely all in. It's just with the wife and kids sometimes. So that's that. So I have 2 kids as well. So I did all this with 2 kids, 19 days out of 21. So I mean, it's not time is not really an excuse. If you really enjoy watching sports, anybody could do it.
Yeah, and I think to that point, one thing like you guys didn't really touch on struggles that we've had. I know we had a monster week last week, so we're at the height of our season right now. No one's down. No one has had a higher balance than right now. I know that because I've been a part of the ride with you guys. But yeah, with that said, like I think one of our members, David, he said it perfectly one day. We had a really tough Saturday, and this was 2 weeks ago. And he said, for anyone that thinks this is a scam and don't think that we work our tails off, I just went 12 hours straight. I can barely feel my ass because it's so sore. And I was able to grind out 2 units of profit in the end of the day. And I actually, I think ended up down about 4 to 6 units on that whole Saturday, which, like I said, was the first Saturday, and since I can remember that I actually ended up down at the end of the day. But the point being is that, number one, we don't always win. It's about winning over time. And number two, it's nothing in this world is easy. If it was, everyone would do it. Everyone in this chat right now has taken this very seriously and put a lot of time, energy, and effort into it. And the results speak for themselves. It's worth it, right? It's worth it. It's life-changing income.
Definitely 100%.
All right, guys. Well, we don't want to keep you too long, so let's just finish off with a little lightning round. First question: favorite and most betted sport, Zach?
My favorite sport is college basketball, and that's probably my highest betting sport as well.
Cool.
To be honest.
Yeah, nothing like March Madness. That's some fun stuff to watch.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm excited for that. As a newbie, I'm really excited.
Brandon, what's your favorite and most betted sport?
So it's football. For me, it's football.
Okay.
Football.
NFL or college? Given the choice.
Both.
Okay.
Enjoy both.
Why discriminate, right? How about you, Jason?
Yeah. My favorite sport is hockey. Before inplayLIVE, basketball I bet the most of. Nowadays, a lot of football.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's time of year too, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Ritzker?
My favorite sport, oh man, I think like if I go back to my roots, I absolutely love watching Canucks hockey because that's just my home and favorite team. But football as a whole is probably my favorite all-encompassing sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
How about you?
Me, I mean, gosh, I love it all.
It's tough to
I
pick, right?
actually have a cool story about the love of sports. One of our really close friends, who's actually a professional sports bettor and one of my biggest inspirations to get going myself and figure it out on my own. We're in Vegas together, and we had a parlay. We love going to Vegas and getting the paper slip parlay. We usually take 2 baseball picks, and we had the Mariners minus 1.5, and they were up 3-1 with 2 outs, with a runner on first and second, and we had a few beverages, and the Cardinals hit a 3-run walk-off homer to kill our parlay, and I told him, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, we lost. They hit a 3-run jack," and I was kind of mad, and he grabbed me, and he's like, "I fucking love baseball," and I was like, "What, dude? We lost." And he's like, "That's the beauty of the game. I love baseball." So I think my point is, and we tell that story all the time. I think my point is that I just love everything to do. Like, we got the guys, we got the Masters this Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, like we got the Masters, we got epic tennis majors, we got. I bet the most on football, no question. But like football, hockey, basketball, and that's the beauty of inplayLIVE. We kind of do a little bit of it all.
Okay. Second question.
But one more thing. That's what I like about the community is like you should see there's all these a bunch of different people that there's like golf experts, there's soccer experts. Just like I mean it's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Especially.
On a side note, there, I actually think we hit a soccer parlay in the chat there.
Yeah, we did, by the way.
Podcast live.
Let's go! Let's go!
Live podcast parlay. There you go.
Making money while we're in the podcast. I love it.
Awesome. Second question, guys. Best and worst bet. Zach.
Yeah, so I definitely gotta go with my worst bet here. It was in Vegas. I had the Raptors minus 6.5 over the Clippers. I had 10,000 on the Raptors to win the spread. And after the first quarter, they were up by 15. At half, they're up by 12. And sure enough, they ended up losing the game, I think, by 8 or 10. And it's just... So that's probably my worst bet of the year.
That's a tough one.
Not the year, but... Oh, it's terrible.
Ouch.
But it's part of the process, right?
Yeah. Ouch.
How about you, Jason? Worst or best bet?
I'm not gonna go worst bet. I'm gonna go best bet. Pretty much a nice little basketball parlay I had last December. Couple bucks on it. Paid 4 figures. I was very happy with it. Had to grind it out right to the end and right into overtime, but it was fun to watch and be able to go, yeah, I got it.
Overtime. Wow. Brandon?
That's cool. Yeah, so for myself, it was actually with inplayLIVE. I hit a few weeks ago. I hit Carlos Hyde for any time for a touchdown. It was for around $5,000, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. So for my worst bet, it was actually not like one single bet. It was just like the weekend. Like as we were talking about, we had a rough week last week. But like we all know, it's just part of the process, right? It's like a stock market, up and down and up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
How about you, Pace?
So I'll tell you guys a quick little story. 2 seasons ago, I had a 20-pick college football and NFL teaser. It paid out $13,000.
Oh my God.
Okay?
20 games.
The last pick, all I have left, is the New England Patriots. They're up by 5. They're in Miami. Does anyone know how the story goes from there?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a lateral.
The Miami Miracle. $13,000. They were up 5. I think I needed them to win by 3.5. That's what I needed to cover. And when they punted the ball, I'm like, okay, we just got to dodge a hook and ladder.
And it was like a 70 or... It was a long one, too. It wasn't like from our side of the field.
Yeah. And you just grab yourself in that moment and you go, I love football. That's what it's all about. I had a huge... I've had a few crazy ones, though. Do you guys remember Alabama against Auburn, the Iron Bowl? It was maybe like 7 years ago, and the ball bounced off his helmet, and then he took it to the house for a 100-yard touchdown. I won. I had Auburn in that game, so I won on a ball off the helmet. And then I lost on a hook and ladder with Duke. Same thing as the Miami Miracle.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh.
Exactly. But that's chaos in sports, right? That's what it's all about.
I think my favorite bet, I'm thinking about this now. Previously, I thought about that Ravens bet a long time ago that I made. But I'm thinking about now is last year when I took Gary Woodland to win the U.S. Open at 81-1 on Saturday. He comes charging ahead, and it's just down like 4 hours of championship golf where every shot was just huge, right? And on 17, I'll never forget, it was like the green was like 100 feet long with a huge knuckle in it. You couldn't putt over it, and he hit into the backside, and he had to chip on the green. 60 feet to save his par, and he went up and down from the green. Saved his par, went on to win. So that was a nice one. Not a huge dollar amount, but just like one of the most fun bets I've ever cheered for.
I mean, with the golf picks in the Masters this week, we've had... So this season, we obviously had Matt Wolff in the U.S. Open, top 5, top 10, top 20. We had him to win. He finished second. But last season, some of these same strategies, inplayLIVE hadn't started yet, but we hit Koepka, Tiger, Gary Woodland, those 4, and I think those were the only 4 events that we bet on. Like and then this year we have Cockrack, Cantley, and Matt Wolff that have all cashed for us. So we're super pumped for the Masters.
It's just fun too.
Yeah, it's super fun. That sets the expectation that we're gonna win. It's not easy. Golf is tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
Yeah.
Okay, last one, guys.
See that shot last night off the water? How you just skimmed it off the water?
John Rahm, yeah. Do you see that?
No, I didn't.
John Rahm. This is why I think now.
Was this the par 3?
I hate the odds on John Rahm. He pays 10-1.
I will never cheer for John Rahm in my life.
I love cheering for him to spaz out and collapse. But do you guys know what club he used?
I have no idea.
Was it in the par 3 contest?
Hole 16.
Yeah.
He decides to be a cocky mother, whatever, and he skips the ball off the the water like 3 times.
I'll have to look that up.
But he drains it.
Yeah.
He scores the hole in one. What kind of confidence and like nerve killing would that give you before the Masters
You
start?
can do anything after that.
I feel like he's just poised to win now, but I can't take any golfer at 10-1. No. It's just there's too many people in the field.
Last question, guys. Tip for a new member or someone looking to get into sports betting or sports value investing as a kind of passive income generator or full-time job. Zach, what would you say to somebody considering it, whether it's with inplayLIVE or just in the general field of sports betting?
I think the biggest thing is you got to give it 100% like participation. Like you can't go half-assed with anything that you do in life.
Yeah,
right?
Well said.
You gotta go full force, take it seriously, and if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, then it is what it is, right? But I find if you don't jump in with 2 feet, then you're just not going to be successful, in my opinion. And the other thing I want to say is, if you join the community, use the people inside at your disposal. There's a lot of good people in here that know a lot of good things and different sports too, right? And stay patient.
Absolutely.
Stay patient.
That's an awesome one. Jason?
I think really the thing that a lot of people should do, and I've seen where people fail, is look at the information first. Read everything before you start betting.
Great
we've had
fucking
a couple guys come
answer.
into the group. We've had a couple guys come into the group and been like, "Oh yeah, I got this. I don't need the course. I'm just going to come and make tons of money and this is easy to do." And then 3 weeks later, they're complaining about how they didn't make any money.
Well, they're gone.
Well, do the course.
Yeah, well, and also, Jason, you don't buy a book and then tell someone else to read it to you, right? Yeah, like you don't call the author and say, "Hey, can you read me the book now?" Right? I love that answer because and I totally agree. And it's not a diss on people just joining the community asking questions, but it's so important to do your research. Like Zach said, take it seriously. Learn the sports, learn the rules, learn the approach. It is a whole school of thought, and it deserves the respect of your energy and time if you think that you actually want to get something out of it.
100%.
Brandon.
Definitely. I guess my boys, they mentioned pretty much everything, but for me, what could it be? I would say, for most people that I've seen, I feel they basically use a lot of fear. It's right in front of their face. They're scared to jump into something. I can understand that they may think it's a scam, but I'm here, and Jason's here, and Zach is here to show you that there are people other than Andrew that have been successful. So basically, what I say is, be fearless. You know what I mean? Just go and jump right in and do it.
Yeah.
It's not especially for what's going on in the world right now. Who knows what's gonna happen? So just be fearless, man. Just go and try it out, and then you're gonna see it changes your life. I swear.
Yeah, and if you're a sports bettor, and let's just hypothetically say we are a scam, $59. It's probably not your worst bad beat.
Well,
No, I don't know.
Andrew gives us picks, so it's paid off within literally the first day.
Yeah, there are pregame picks too. So
In theory.
yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. It's been awesome. The last thing I want to hit on is I know that you guys are kind of tracking your own journeys and sharing that with your own communities. Let everyone know and we'll post the links below, but very quickly, just fire off where people can find you or find your story.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. It's called The Sports Value Analyst from the Inside, and that's about it for now.
Cool.
Right on.
Sportsvalueanalyst.com.
Cool.
So for me, if you need some help, I have a review on Google. It's called inplayLiveReview.com. You could go and just check out my review. I have a little video on there if you need some inside information from an honest outside source.
Yeah, so we'll post those links in the description so that you guys can actually click directly on those and just learn a little bit more about these 3 individuals' story. We have nearly 300 members at inplayLIVE. Tons and tons of success stories. These definitely are not the only 3, but these are definitely 3 guys who took it seriously, and also 3 guys from a completely different background. We got, potentially a professional pregame here that's found a new income stream, someone who was a sports bettor but was looking to find success, and then Brandon, who had no experience with it. So thanks so much, guys. I love all of you. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being here. We're gonna hook you guys up with some swag for doing this not once but twice. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, have a good day.
See you on the next live stream.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Sounds good.
Yeah.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Well, that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
How much doesn't get better than sharing the story with three guys who are like different walks of life, different approaches, but similar results. And just like, I think the common denominator is like, take it seriously, treat it like you would any other income generating activity, and use the community. There's so much value in the community to be had.
Absolutely.
From the live streams to the pregame picks to the UFC picks to the Masters picks to the other professionals and different walks of life. We've got people from Europe, people from Asia, people from South America, the whole world, right? So why not use those people as a resource, right? So
totally.
What do we got coming up this week? We said the Masters. We've touched on that. That's super exciting. Starting tomorrow. I don't think I won't have it on beside me for the next 4 days.
Totally.
So you'll be releasing some picks on that tonight.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thursday night football, we've got the Colts and the Titans.
Okay.
We're going to be live for that.
Yep.
Saturday, all-day college marathon.
And the Masters,
And Masters, as per usual. To get some more screens back here. And then Sunday, NFL Sunday, Masters Sunday. So it's just going to be a monster weekend.
Yeah, super excited for all of it. The Mac's been in full swing, so we've got a bunch of members trying to make money on the Mac. I advise to just pretend it's not on for the most part, but there are some opportunities there. So, I mean, I know that we don't have NHL and NBA right now, but the NBA is officially back December 22nd. College basketball starting in a couple weeks. Then, of course, the NHL looks like it's coming back January 1st.
They usually follow pretty close to what the NBA does, right? So.
Actually, I think hockey typically starts before the NBA in October, but I mean, we live in a crazy world right now, right?
Well, I was joking with my dad, and we were talking about the NBA and the NHL, and I was just saying Gary Bettman is just basically shadowing Adam Silver, because Bettman's a total bum, and Silver knows what he's doing. He's a good businessman, right? And so even you look back at the quarantine playoffs, the NBA is like, let's do a bubble, let's do a play-in tournament.
He's like, let's do that.
Yeah, and Batman's like, hey guys, what do you think if we were to do this? I'm like, oh, what a genius.
You know what though? I know it was extremely hard on the players with the bubbles, but to their credit, like, just open up NCAA football and look at the amount of reschedules this coming week. Yeah. Right? Like, we are in a global pandemic. Yeah. The coronavirus has not gone away, it's gotten worse, right? Yeah. We need sports. The whole shutdown, no sports thing is very tough on a lot of people. So we need sports. You look at what the MLB did. They had an early struggle with Philly and Miami, and then they cleaned it right up. Yeah. Right? They did the bubble for the playoffs. You look at the NHL and the NBA going off, let's call it seamlessly. Like, they got back in, they got in their bubbles. There was really no issues whatsoever, other than, of course, it sucks not to have fans. And then you look at the NCAA football. Like, I just got a message before we started this podcast. One of our favorite teams this year has been Maryland. Taulia Tagovailoa, Tua's little brother. He has been an absolute superstar. We've caught them at plus 20 and the money line 2 weeks ago. And then last week against Penn State, we got them at plus 27 and the money line at 11.5 to 1. Both of those were winners both weeks. They're playing Ohio State. That game's rescheduled, right? And,
is it?
Actually, rescheduled might be the wrong word. Right, they don't know when they're going to play these games. So last week, Cal against Washington was going to be the Pac-12 kickoff, and the Pac-12 has in their clause that X amount of players, out for COVID equals not reschedule cancellation. Yeah. So Cal is not playing Washington this year. This Saturday, LSU Alabama. It's like,
up in the air.
I don't want to compare that to the Iron Bowl. I don't want to compare that to the Apple Cup or any of the other major rivalries. The Red River Showdown. I don't want to compare them to any of the other rivalries. But LSU Alabama is one of the most.
It's circled on everyone's calendar every year.
Yeah, Alabama is a 27-point favorite this year. It's not the usual competitiveness, right? Like last year, Joe Burrow took care of Alabama with no problem really. That game's canceled. And they're saying right now, Alabama-LSU probably won't happen this year. That sucks, right? And then, did you watch the Notre Dame-Clemson game this past week?
I didn't see it myself, no.
So, Notre Dame upset Clemson. Notre Dame was down 7 with 2 minutes left, and Clemson had the ball. Travis Etienne ran out of bounds, stopping the clock, forcing Notre Dame to save a timeout. Notre Dame marches down the field. They score a touchdown to tie. They win in overtime. The stands are completely full. All of the fans rush the field, which you and I have done together at a Huskies Stanford game, right? We've rushed the field before, but in the middle of a global pandemic, you literally see Trevor Lawrence, who is positive for COVID. He's on the sideline with a mask on, and all these people around all these athletes, all partying and celebrating together. People are on each other's shoulders, and you're like,
get away from my guy.
How is it possible now that Clemson and Notre Dame don't get impacted further by COVID? And I'm not telling people, like, I don't ever want people to think that I want this shut down or don't want people to live their life. But on the flip side of it, with my love of sports, I'm like, guys, like, let's be smart about this. We don't want the NCAA season to be stopped. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And it sucks when you see major games like LSU, Alabama potentially canceled. So back to that whole point is that I think actually, despite, Bettman being a bit of a, if he's copying the NBA, he's copying the right protocol.
No, and that's where I said, I was like, if there's anyone you're going to follow, just do that. But I think, logistically, it's obviously a nightmare, and I'm just thankful that we have sports.
100%. So, and then we got the Masters.
All right, awesome. So look for all that content to come out this week. And again, a reminder, subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, inplayLIVE podcast. Click the like button on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Please leave a review, comments. We would love to hear from you guys. What do you guys want to hear about more? New content, anything like that. Questions, if you want to be a guest, all that stuff. Awesome. And again, use Ritzker Podcast as a promo code to join the community. This week, it's going to be jam-packed.
For grinding through the podcast today, you get 40% off. Use the promo code Ritzker Podcast, and we'll see you on the inside. Let's go.